Hey guys, it's Tombox here coming at you with a deck profile. This is Calvin's Supreme King Pendulum Zodiac. Yeah, the Zodiac tacked in here just because it needs to keep up with the meta, and this deck is made to be competitive, which is why he chose to play the Zodiac stuff in here. Now, let me just go back into the previous video. I do apologize that the integrity of that video was not, well, the most ideal. Thanks to the players not playing into the correct zones. In the future, I will enforce players to play in the zones when they are getting a feature match. So, apologies for that, but this does not neglect the fact that this deck is extremely powerful. It is very aggressive, and it offers something more than what Zodiac normally has. Zodiacs, you know how it works. Their regular effect monsters aren't exactly the strongest, and this deck has that level of aggression as well as the control that Zodiac offers, and sets up combos just as fast, if not faster. But it does carry the Pendulum weakness, so it's a bit of a give and take. So let's actually get into this profile. So the main monster of this deck is mainly the Dark Worm, but we'll get to that in a bit. We're starting off with a pair of Master Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. This guy is probably one of your fodders and just a utility plus when it comes down to it, but it is also a 1950 beat stick, which basically puts a threat on most of the Zodiac lineup. And next, we have one of the most powerful Pendulum monster, which also carries the Pendulum name, the Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. Well, you can make a Gnister with this card, and you can also make Dynaster. So this card is one of your key tools to access the extra deck, as well as being a very powerful engine card. If you open this card with another Pendulum card that you can scale both of them, you can pop it and get an extra copy, which fuels your extra deck face-up Pendulum monsters. Overall, it's a free plus. And that's why it's at 1 too, and just really powerful card. If you guys haven't seen this guy, it's probably because you haven't played in the past 2 years. And next we have Dracoons of Draconia. I don't think I need to introduce this card very much. It is a Beast Warrior that you can search with Broad Bowl, and it is also a Pendulum scale. And most people that played Metaphol Zodiacs already use this card. Next up, this card named after the deck, we have Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. This is probably your most useful Pendulum monster, one of your most useful ones, especially when it comes to the grind game, because this card lets you grind pretty hard. One of the best monsters in the graveyard as well, because when this card is in the graveyard, as long as you control no monsters, once per turn you can actually special summon this card out of the graveyard for free. No cost, just the condition of not controlling any monsters. When this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Supreme King Gate Pendulum monster to your hand, which will allow you to fetch the Supreme King Gate 0, so you get your free 0 scale, as long as this card is in the graveyard. And there are ways for this deck to actually send it to the graveyard, which I will go into in a bit, and it actually combos out as a plus in the end. And it's a 1 card thing too. So next up, we have Skullcrobat Joker. Needs very little introduction. This is the Stratos of the Performable archetype, as well as I believe you can search Magicians with this too. Yeah, you can search Magicians with this as well. And yeah, you normal summon this, you get yourself a nice search, and your search lineup includes the most powerful Performable Pendulum Sorcerer. It also carries the Pendulum name, and that's actually very important because we do use Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance will fix any hand you have, giving you that consistency that you really need. That's like getting triple Rhoda in the deck. Yeah, normally you don't brick very often once you have that searching capability. And Performable Pendulum Sorcerer, well, it gives you the double pop, which eventually ends up giving you additional 2-card draw, as well as keeping 1 card on scale. So it's a very, very big plus if you do resolve this card's effect. And if you do run Ariadne, which I'll get into a bit, you'll get to search, well, Solemn cards along the way too. So overall, very busted back in the day. This is the deck one of the cards that defined the Pepe format. Now we have Performable, Geeturtle, and Lizard Draw. This is the draw combo. Draw 2 cards. This is the Pot of Greed combo, as most people would call it. Yeah, just by playing a Performable card, scale on the other side, when Geeturtle's up, Geeturtle will offer you a 1-card draw per turn. And Lizard Draw is when the other side of the scale is also a Performable card that's not Lizard Draw. You can pop the card and draw 1 card. So overall, we'll give you a 2-card draw. So this is the basic lineup of the Pendulum stuff, and the Zodiac stuff is actually relatively small. It's a 4-card engine. It is just Whiptail, Ram, and well, we have a pair of rats, and that's about it. Nothing too special there, but it does give you access to the entire extra deck. And most of the time, you're actually not just doing single card overlays into the Zodiac monsters. You're going into Broad Bowl or Chake 9 using 2 materials. So yeah, there's that stuff going on too. And the hand trap lineup, a pair of Ash, triple Ogre, and one Max C. This is just a very standard lineup, just because Zoodiac is really in the meta right now, and these cards just hurt them a lot, as well as all the other decks that are currently heavily in the meta. So this is a competitive deck after all. We have one Raigeki for the board wipe that we usually need. Triple Duelist Alliance, this is the hand fixer. You need a scale first before you play this. A lot of people try to play this without playing one scale. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't fix your hand unless you already have a scale. So you play the scale and then you play this card, and that will fix the rest of it. If you have a sorcerer, you can use it to search a luster, and then basically you get your whole sorcerer luster combo, wombo combo, one of the best combos in the game. Next up, we have another engine card, just to synergize very well. Dragon Shrine. Like, well, what are you running Dragon Shrine? You're not Blue Eyes or anything. Well, you send Master into the graveyard, unless both Masters are already played. Then you directly send the Dark Worm. Dark Worm is not a worm type monster, it is a dragon monster after all. And yeah, so if you can actually send the Master in first, it actually gives you a bit of an advantage when it comes to making the Dynastor, because Dynastor will be able to revive that Master, which turns the whole card into a free plus, well, I guess it's a +1, but it is initially already a +1, because what happens is you want to see this card in your opening hand a lot. Like, most of the time you want to see this card in the opening hand, just because if you send the Master and then you send the Dark Worm, what happens is you're going to revive the Dark Worm using his own effect. Okay, so therefore it kind of negates out the minus you get from playing the Dragon Shrine. So, and then this will also search you the Supreme King Gate 0, so now you're at a +1 automatically. And as a scale 0, a 0 scale, the lowest of all scales, is a very, very good number to have on your scale. And if you actually have a Sorcerer afterwards, or if you have Duelist Alliance, that basically guarantees that you will have a skill to play this, which can get you the Sorcerer. And then when you get the Sorcerer, you can get that pop, and you just go off. You just go off like crazy. And the funny thing is, you have not even used your normal summon to establish any of this. That's how fun it is to actually play this deck, because you can actually conserve and save your normal summon until you really need it. Say your opponent just burns off all their plays to counter you, and then you can normal summon a Zoodiac monster and then just ruin the rest of their day. Yeah, that's a possibility. And the next card is Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic Cyclone, I think, is, well, my preference right now over Twin Twisters in terms of the main deck, just because if I hit a true Draco deck, I don't have to worry about hitting their back row too much, especially if I hit one of their traps. It's very effective on that, and I don't want to lose monsters just for free because I decided to use an MST or a Twin Twister. That's pretty heavy minus for it, if you ask me. And next up, we have the final card, Barrage of the Zoodiac, or Zoodiac Barrage. Well, it's a given. It's just one of the most powerful cards if you do run Zoodiac. You just get a free special summon. Anyways, let's go into the extra deck, and then I'll talk about the side deck afterwards. And that side deck is just an alternative build that you can try out. So we have Dynastor Power, which is one of our main protectors and one of the biggest walls we have in this deck. So having a 2950 body and the indestructibility of all Pendulum cards. Very useful stuff. You can make it with Luster, you can make it with Master. Now next up we have Ignister Providence, or Prominence, and the Blasting Draco Slayer. This is one of your best boss monsters and has one of the best effects in the game, which is a non-targeting removal deck that you can use once per turn. Yeah, and it also unbricks your scales. It is a bit difficult to make because I don't run exactly a lot of tuners in this deck, but Luster is enough. And speaking of Luster, Magister Paladin can help me revive Luster out of the extra deck, just so that I can push forward into making the Ignister. So yeah, there is that option. And even if Ignister dies, or if Luster dies, there's always going to be a Daigusto Emerald to put it back. Now, as an extra tech, if you do get out two level 8s, mainly the Ignister and the Dynastor, you can overlay them together into making Hope Harbinger Galaxy, just so that you can control the spell lineup a bit more. So you don't have to take that Raigeki, you don't have to, eat up that many crazy spells, and you can even eat up your opponent's Barrage, and you guys kind of get the idea. And also, we have Tornado Dragon, one of the best additions to the TCG exclusives. I guess it's just MST with legs, and it has a stat of a Cyber Dragon, basically. And overall, one of the most useful cards to help you push. Kind of used similarly to like a Diamond Dire Wolf. When it comes to ABCs, mainly people used Diamond Dire just to pop the back row, and this thing can only pop back row anyway. Sometimes you can use it to pop your scales if you actually need to fix your scales. Abyss Dweller for the Dino and the True Draco matchup. We have Daigusto Emerald, utility, shuffle stuff back in, give you a second chance of using Ignister if your Ignister died. And then the Zodiac lineup, we have a Tiger Mortar, we have a Hammer Kong, we have a pair of Zodiac Chucky Knives, we have a pair of Dryden, and a pair of Broad Bull. I don't need to explain those guys, you guys know, we'll figure out how to use them yourself. And as for the side deck lineup here, here's the more interesting thing, is that there's an alternative build that you can actually try. And this build is mainly meant to go first because having this many traps and less hand traps, it's not exactly, well, most ideal going second. But you can actually side out some of your, I guess your Gi Turtle, because you're running triple of that. If you don't need all those masters, you can side some of that out as well. If you don't need that kind of back row hate, then you can actually switch out for Solemn Strike and the Ariadne. Think about it this way, an Ariadne with a Barrage. If you put Ariadne onto the scale and then you activate Barrage and pop it off, you're guaranteed a free zoo monster that you have not used to special summon. And Ariadne also was destroyed, so you get yourself a Solemn, one of your Solemn cards anyway. So overall you get a free Solemn card plus a Zodiac monster without using your normal summon. And that, to me, I think is actually pretty solid in terms of an opening play. Now, all you gotta do is add on top of that a Dragon Shrine, and then there you go. You have a full board, you can just go wombo combo. And next up we have a couple of games, just replays. The first one is me versus Calvin using the similar deck. He's playing the alternate build, and I'm playing, well, this build here. And then I'll show you two more games, one against Zodiac and one against a Predator Planet player, just to show you guys how this deck kind of functions. And if you guys enjoyed this video, hit me up with a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more stuff, hit the subscribe button down there. I would really appreciate it. And oh, just a quick note, I am going to WC Q&A, so the next few videos might just be a vlog, and I'll keep reminding you guys I'll be away from this. So alright, let's go see those replays. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.